I am the Commodore Amiga 500 home computer. Dazzling animation at your command. I am the Commodore Amiga 500, a multitasking home office in your hand. I am the Commodore Amiga 500, total home video you control, and arcade quality games in stereo. And now, you can be everything I am.
Many other models available. See your full-service authorized dealer, Modern Business Machines.
Hello and welcome to another Retro Crazy, another Commodore video, this time an Amiga 500. This is part of the Amiga series for YouTube. A number of channels are doing this, so I'll pop a link down in the description just to say who is if you want to check them out. But this is a 500 that I've got boxed. I got a while ago, a very, very long time ago, because unfortunately I sold mine way back in the day, which is such a shame. But yeah, this kind of needs a bit of a clean. There's a distinct colour change, which you can see on camera between the two sections. I have no idea what this is, and I'm certainly not wanting to touch it. The power supply is very dirty and grubby. Yeah, somebody even went as far as to cut the plug off. Yeah, seeing that stuff as well, that might be what's left of an elastic band. This is why I don't use elastic bands if I can help it. Mouse is here, Commodore mouse, not a tank mouse, but feels like they're clicking, but we'll get all that done. So a lot to go through with the mouse that's moving. Stop, stop, stop. Keep your comments till the end, please. Better. Okay. Back in January 1987, at the Winter Consumer Electronics Show, the world was introduced to not one, but two high-end Amiga models. Among them was the mighty Amiga 500, which, let's face it, quickly captured the hearts of tech enthusiasts and gamers alike. Although it was initially launched exclusively in the Netherlands in April of the same year, the A500 spread its wings across Europe a month later before finally reaching North America and here in the UK in October 1987. And let's talk about the price. $699 or £499. A hefty sum for the time, but worth every penny. The Amiga 500 was a fierce competitor for other models in the market, such as the Atari ST, and quickly became Commodore's best-selling computer, particularly in Europe. But why? Well, its graphics and sound capabilities made it a gaming powerhouse and the perfect platform for some of the most iconic games of the era. In '91, the Amiga 500 Plus took the reins, but it was never quite the same, and by mid-92, the 500 range was discontinued altogether, with an estimated 4 to 5 million units having been sold worldwide. Powered by the mighty Motorola 6800 CPU and boasting a computer chipset similar to the original Amiga 1000, the Amiga 500 was undoubtedly a technological wonder of its day, and even though it's been decades since its release, it's still remembered fondly by many as a true pioneer of gaming and computing. And this is mine. Although, yeah, really don't want to touch it too much. So let's do something about that. First thing I'm going to do, as always, is look at this poorly power supply unit, because yeah, I'm not powering this thing on until this has been stripped and rebuilt. So let's do that first.
Power supplies are dangerous. There are components in these that can hold a charge long after they're unplugged from the mains. So if you're unsure what you're doing, go seek professional advice.
So with the power supply on the blue mat, you can see just how disgusting this is. It's this cable, there's lumps stuck inside it, down the side, everything. So this is going to need a good clean, apart from getting the power supply safe. 4 screws hold it in, so let's quickly get these out. So now that the power supply has been stripped down, I think we've caught this just at the right time. This capacitor and this capacitor are both bulging. Don't know if you can see that. I'll try zooming in a bit. There we go. You should be able to see that they are distinctly not right. And yeah, you can see it bulging. Both of them, in fact. So not great, but hopefully caught in time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 electrolytics and 2 of the class X, yep, class X caps here. So let's get all of this apart. That's it now decapped, and you'll see I've put one good cap in there, and yeah, the other 2 are failures. So the electrolytic had just started to leak out of this one. They're dry on the underside, thankfully, but yes, needing replaced. So with those all out, let's fit some shiny new caps. So of course I would test if it wasn't for the fact I forgot I need a plug. So let's get one of those on first. So I'm all set up ready to test. It's all plugged in, multimeter's on, I've got my pieces of insulation so I can test the pins, and it's pointless. And the reason it's pointless is that's not for this Amiga. The Amiga uses a 5-pin square DIN, not a 4-pin round. So this is not its original power supply, even though it's clearly marked as a Commodore power supply. That's a bit of a problem. So let me go and dig out one of my 5-pin square DIN power supplies so we can continue. So let's have a good look at the mouse, and we're going to start by taking this apart. So with this apart, we're going to clean everything with some isopropyl alcohol, including the ball, wash the case, hot soapy water along with some vanished oxy action, and then we'll pop it back together. Might put a little bit of deoxit into the buttons. And with that done, let's pop it to the side and let's bring over the A500. So now we're ready to look at the 500 itself. It's definitely grubby, it's going to need stripped down and a good clean minimum. Yeah, based on what I've pulled off of some of the other bits, this appears to be what's left of an elastic band. This is why I don't use them. I mean, that's dissolved and yeah, it's kind of bonded itself on there, so everything's going to have to come apart. It's going to need a full clean. I'm also going to try a little bit of sun brighting because we actually have some sun in Scotland for a change, which is quite unusual. So first thing first, let's get this open. This is quite worrying. yeah, that's part of the connector still attached into the disk drive port. So I need to remove that, obviously, before I can remove this. So that's it apart. Wasn't the easiest. Somebody has been in before. The heat shield has 2 broken tabs. Obviously all the security seals were missing, and we've got an expansion here, which I'm not quite sure. I'll need to check and see exactly what that is and report back, because I am not quite sure. However, we've got lots of caps that need replaced. So that's one thing I'm going to be focusing on. This is a week 47 of 1988 board, revision 6A, so quite nice. And what I'm going to be using is this cap kit. This is a cap kit I got quite a while ago from Retrobench. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going anymore, which is a shame, because not only do you get an amazing set of caps, you get a lovely breakdown of where everything goes. So if I open this up, you can see all the different boards, 3.5, and on this side you've got 6A, 7, etc. And they then mark all the caps and the colour, so you know exactly where everything's going. They were one of the few that did this. It's a shame they don't still do them, but as I say, I've had this for a year and a half, 2 years. So it also includes the real-time clock battery for the 500 plus models. This isn't a 500 plus, so it gives me a spare battery holder that I can use maybe in something else I've got coming up. So let's pop all this to the side and let's look at recapping this board. So that's all the caps out. They came out nice, simply and straightforward. I did opt to use my desoldering station purely and simply because some of the ground planes on this are really large and the heat just gets sucked away. So using the desolder gun just helped me keep the heat concentrated a bit better in the areas I needed. Now that that's done, we can go on and we can recap. And with the board all recapped, we can pop it to the side at the moment. I can say that after asking around, this seems to be a factory fitted section, and it looks like it's been done possibly to allow the use of the 8371 with up to 1 meg of memory. Yeah, not sure, but yeah, it does seem to be a factory upgrade. So let's pop this to the side and look at the floppy drive next. So here we've got the floppy drive. It's a Chinon, seems to be in reasonable condition. I'll pop off the connectors. So power and cable, just drop them to the side. And from what I can see, we've got this board which would come off with 1, 2, 3 screws if I wanted that off. At the moment there's no requirement, because what I'm going to do is see if I can pop the top case, 2 clip points at the back, and this tape is fairly well gone, it's not sticky anymore. I can split that there, split this one, and hopefully this will come off. In fact, I'd go as far as to say, based on what I'm seeing, I think somebody's had this apart already, because that's split perfectly, as if you pull and it just tears. Well, let's see what we find. So everything seems fine. It's a little bit dusty. You can see there's quite a bit of dust on the side, so I'm just going to brush that off. So with that dusted, I'm just going to use Q-tip, cotton bud, whatever you want to call it, some isopropyl alcohol, try that in English, some isopropyl alcohol, and I'm going to gently clean the upper and lower heads. Everything else seems fine. I don't see anything obvious. I don't see any particular reason for a full strip down. So we'll just take it carefully. I can see the drive rails actually, one there and one here. I can get to the top of them, but they're not particularly dirty, but they are dry, so I'll maybe put a little bit of lithium grease on those as well. So I'll see you once I've done all this. So I've given a light greasing to the main shafts, I've cleaned the heads, I've given this light coating for this bracket to run on. It's actually looking quite clean. There's nothing obvious that I'm really seeing, so at this moment I'm going to leave this and I'm going to rebuild. However, there are a couple of points I have just spotted that I want to do, and that's these surfaces here. Anything that helps everything slide that little bit better is good in my book. And with the floppy drive done, let's pop this to the side and move on to the keyboard. So this keyboard is particularly disgusting. I can see hair, I can see fluff, I can see what I'm still hoping is some degraded elastic band, and yes, it's been a few days and I took a massive couple of chunks out of my finger. Yeah, it happens. So first thing I'm going to do is pull all these caps. So there we are, that's the extent of the dust and fluff. However, what I did find, my spacebar has a crack, so I need to clean it, and then once it's clean I can open it up and then just pour in some super glue, close it, put in some super glue from the back I hasten to add, close it, and then let it set, and hopefully that will give it its strength back. But this needs cleaned. So that's next. So with the keyboard back together, let's reassemble. Okay, I'm going to pause here. What I didn't realise is the caps are that big, they're actually sitting on the heat shield, so let's see if we can do something about that. So I've had to redo these caps, get them right down onto the board. They are rather tall. I didn't realise it would make that much of a difference. Boy, was I wrong. So let's get this back together. So here we are, ready to go. I've got an alternative power supply plugged in. I've got the Retro Computer Shack SCART cable hooked up. Next is, let's see if this fires up. Ah, superb, brilliant. Hey. Okay, I've got a clicking from the disk drive. That's good. Means it's being pulled to see if there's a disk in. So let's shove in a workbench disk and see what happens. Well, it's detected disk activity. Superb. Ah, great. Yeah, that's a win. That's a big win. The floppy drive is running nicely. No battery backed up clock. Yeah, not surprising. This is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant. What I did do, or forget to do, is to actually plug in the mouse. Bit of an oversight there, but hey, this is absolutely brilliant. So comment if you remember this noise from your Amiga past. Brilliant. Okay, superb. I'm going to pop the disc out. I'm going to grab the floppy. No, I'm going to grab the mouse, and we're going to try again. Okay, so let's try again. And I've got a mouse too. Oh, this makes me so happy. Oh, I love it when these things work. Unfortunately, I'm just missing my A590 that would have plugged in the side here. Oh, and my pair of A1010 external floppy drives. That was my setup, which the 1010s went to my Amiga 1200 when I parted with my 500 to fund the 1200. And there we go. And all buttons working as well. Next time you see this, it's going to be all buttoned down and have a case back on it. But there's one thing I need to do. Let's get this label made. Right, reassembly. Okay, so it's all back together. It's absolutely gorgeous. This has been sun-brighting for 3 days, 4 days, and it's come out really, really nicely. I actually realised that I forgot to record here. Yes, mouse pointer. Look, mouse pointer move. Look, it does things. Right mouse, left mouse, yay! Everything works as it's supposed to. So, yeah, and then I realised I actually forgot to bring up the games. So I can't even plug the GoTech in because it's on the 2000 system. So, yeah, everything's gone a little bit wrong for the end of this video. However, you can clearly see a fully working system. Yay! So, thank you for watching. Please remember, tick the thumbs up button, right, which, yep, that one. I don't know, one of them. You'll find it on YouTube somewhere, over here, down there. Yeah, it's probably down here. So remember, like and subscribe if you liked the video, and I will see you on the next Retro Crazy. That's my slipper. Honest.
I am an Amiga 500 home computer from Commodore. I have just been restored to fully working order, so on behalf of myself, please You never know. I may see you on the next